Minimal cartoon 3D is a term used to describe the visualization of objects with a characteristic smooth and shiny effect, reminiscent of plastic. This rendering style produces models with shiny surfaces that lack fine textural details, such as roughness or material imperfections. The result is a visually clean, sometimes even artificial appearance that can emphasize the simplicity or sterility of a scene. The focus and style is on flat, uniform material, form, and general features of the objects. Characters and design elements are also reduced to basic, often rounded shapes. In minimal cartoon 3D, textures are simplified to maintain the cartoon-like mood of the objects. Soft gradients may be used to give a sense of volume without excessive detail. This style aims to create a cheerful and lighthearted atmosphere. To support this goal, character features are exaggerated and details are minimized, making them more memorable and cartoonish. This simple cartoon aesthetic is linked to the principle of wabi-sabi, perfectly imperfect, which values imperfection and naturalness. The lack of perfectionism was rooted in Japanese philosophy. Also, digital design encourages embracing the beauty of imperfection. This is reflected in cartoon 3D models, where the simplification of forms and textures allows visual elements to be perfectly imperfect. Such elemental design may speak to a fatigue with the excess of detail in modern media, while also expressing a quiet hope that not everything must be polished and flawless to be beautiful or meaningful. 3D hyper-surrealism is a genre of digital art that merges hyperrealism with surrealism, creating lifelike three-dimensional visuals filled with unreal, intricately detailed elements. This style focuses on fantastical, often absurd or abstract scenes that play with perceptions of reality, defying conventional laws of physics and logic. Artists like Peter Tomasiewicz use paradoxical combinations of objects, people, or animals to craft unexpected compositions that evoke a sense of strangeness or dreaminess. From astonishing architectural transformations in states of matter to fabric forms and silent aesthetics, his work exemplifies the genre. Created using Cinema 4D, Houdini, and Redshift, Tomasiewicz's film is a playful visual exploration of impossible relationships and connections. Then we take the objects we found inspirational and use them in ways that are not their real purpose, which is why we call it hyper-real surrealism. The individual style frames don't offer an obvious narrative and there's no character or storyline, the artist explains. Inspired by the Memphis art movement, Fila Kids incorporated bold, saturated colors and playful geometric patterns in the hyper-surrealist style into both their shoe designs and promotional videos. A crucial aspect of this style is guiding the viewer from point A to point B, with the pleasure rooted in the transformation process itself, how an object morphs and interacts with other elements. The objects themselves are often not important and are simply sourced from 3D stocks. 3D hyper-surrealism often features scenes with floating objects in slow motion, frequently frozen mid-air using the bullet time effect popularized by The Matrix. The rise of 3D hyper-surrealism art has paralleled advances in computer graphics and 3D software such as Blender, Cinema 4D, and ZBrush, which allow artists to craft photorealistic virtual worlds while distorting reality. Matteo Brasini creates scenes of utopian worlds with clean lines, idealized natural landscapes, and futuristic architecture. His works often reflect a harmony between nature and technology, a coexistence without destruction. This narrative in hyper-surrealism mirrors the duality of progress, where organic and technological elements live side by side, highlighting a vision of advancement that retains its natural core. The balance between the natural and digital realms in Brasini's art provokes reflection on the past, present, and future, and the potential paths for their harmonious integration. Hyperrealism in 3D is a highly professional style that demands a vast range of skills and knowledge. Contemporary hyperrealism, much like its early American two-dimensional painting counterpart, tends toward utopianism. Lifeless streets, garbage bins, and other objects of the industrial world in the past evoke the same sense of desolation as endless wires, computers, and machines do in the present. Modern 3D hyperrealism often references early 2000s Japanese cyberpunk. It focuses on unpleasant details and exposes the poverty of consumer civilization. However, it also emanates the same nauseating energy as the stream of thought that once gave rise to Ashken's school.
This style serves as a form of social commentary, no longer on the age of consumption, but on the post-Anthropocene era. Contemporary 3D hyperrealist Cornelius Demrick, alongside American hyperrealists like Edward Hopper and Richard Estes, has created unique works which, despite the differences in medium 3D versus painting, share several similarities as well as distinct differences.
Similarities. Photographic realism. Both approaches aim to produce visuals that resemble photographs, capturing every minute detail with extraordinary accuracy. Richard Estes and other hyperrealists use technique to depict every environmental detail, a perspective inaccessible to the naked eye. Similarly, 3D hyperrealist works depict hyper-detailed scenes with carefully crafted lighting and textures. Themes of loneliness and urbanism. Many scenes are devoid of people, emphasizing a sense of isolation. Edward Hopper's works, such as Nighthawks, portray solitude in urban settings, while modern 3D hyperrealists explore the same emotion through technological, industrial, or natural spaces, as seen in the works of Ivo Pilz. Light and shadow. Both styles place a strong emphasis on lighting to highlight spatial depth and create a specific atmosphere. In 3D, this is achieved through complex shader and node setups that determine how a material reflects, transmits, and scatters light depending on the viewing angle. Differences. Technology. 3D software has opened entirely new horizons for hyperrealist artists, enabling the creation of scenes with alternative physics and visual effects impossible to reproduce by hand, such as intricate reflections and interactive lighting. Themes and technologies. American hyperrealists focused on everyday life, depicting diners, shop windows, and urban streets. In contrast, 3D hyperrealists often operate within futuristic or industrial genres, portraying post-apocalyptic or high-tech scenes steeped in cyberpunk and dystopian aesthetics. Symbolism and detail. Traditional hyperrealists emphasize reflections and material culture, e.g., neon signs, glass facades, while artists like Demrick focus on digital aesthetics, capturing the atmosphere of a post-human reality. He gathers props like posters and books from real life to place into his scenes, and the use of film grain adds a layer of photographic authenticity.